got mail. Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now, the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Emlyn, your host for the next hour or so, along with Spence.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Gal is here.
Good morning.
And Katie's here.
Morning.
Morning. Nick is not going to be with us today, I don't think. Our number is 561-518-9773. And today's show is made possible by Vmix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So how was your week?
Nothing too crazy on my end other than still using Cursor. And my website is now public. I mean, not for like the public, but I was able to get it online. And the databases still work. Like they still communicate. It took me a minute to figure that out. And the admin stuff is protected behind security, which is run by Google because originally it's set up for a username and password. And I was like, no, I don't want to store that information. That just sounds like a disaster. So I hooked it up to, I don't know, Google Cloud Security. So now to get access to the admin, you have to log into your Google account. And I don't store any of that information. Because a lot of the sites you go to nowadays, you can either make an account on the site or you log in with Google. It's like that. But
Well, you know that Google Cloud is really just vaporware.
I don't know what that means.
Clouds are made out of vapor.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not in charge of the security, so that's fine.
Just trying to make a joke.
Oh, sorry, it went over my head. It's too early, Spence. It's Sunday morning. I haven't finished my coffee yet.
Well, go ahead and do it. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Finish your coffee.
Okay, I'll stop talking.
And
so I just have an approved list of emails, like Gmail emails that can get access to the site or whatever. But it's just me.
Oh. Nice. Very, very nice. You see what you started, Gal?
Well, I don't think I started it, but I think it'll highlight the hardest thing about websites, web services, is not even building them, and today that's even closer to truth than ever. It is getting the audience in, right? That's the hard part. Eventually.
Oh, there's
Getting the
so many steps. I was like, I was like, what? I had to. It just like one of the things is AI assumed I kind of knew it kind of assumes that I'm a developer that's just looking to cut corners by using AI, and I have to pull it back. And I'm like, no. You're gonna have to walk me through this step by step, because it had me install, what is it called? Git, Git, and then, which I've used before in the past, but I've never really understood it. Because nobody explains it well, and I know it's version
that's because
control.
you never asked me.
Yeah. Well, please don't explain it.
No,
Because
I'll send you to the resources.
No. So I got it working, and then so I got a GitHub, and then I was like, okay, now what? And I was like, okay, well, go to this website. You can hook up your GitHub, and then when you update the stuff on here, then it'll update on the website. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was doing that, and I was committing the updates, but it wasn't updating the website. And I'm like, because I kept getting error messages, and Cursor was like, "Oh, we should have fixed these error messages. Why are you still getting these error messages?" I was like, "I don't know." And then I realized it was because I wasn't pushing the thing live, like pushing the GitHub. And I was like, "Oh my god." It's just all these like things that it just assumes you know. And this is for everything. Like for when people are doing tutorials too, they like kind of assume you already know how to do all the basic stuff. But I told it, I was like, "Look, this was the problem. I didn't I didn't know you had to push it. And it was like, that makes sense. So I'm like telling it, you need to talk. I'm a designer. You got to talk baby steps.
But it can do it for you as well.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten it to do stuff for me yet because I ask it and
So
then I
every
get
time
confused.
it tells you about something, ask it, can you do it for me?
I did it for I tried to do that for the database website stuff and I was like, "Can you do it for me?" And I was like, we don't have access to your account or whatever." And I was like,
Yeah,
okay."
creating the API key, that's definitely not something it'll do, but using everything else afterwards, right? So again, creating the Git repo online, the remote site, sure, that it'll guide you through doing, but every commit from now on, it can commit it and push it. So you
Okay.
can definitely ask it to do it. As long as it's a command that it can run on its end, then ask it to do it for you.
Okay. I'll try that next. Well, now I know what to do, so it doesn't matter, but
And be nice to it. You can always invite it for coffee or something. You tell them,
I'm nice to my
hey,
AI
cursor, come
overlords
on over.
because I know one day they're gonna take over and you please and thank you.
Who is it? Mike from the BNI show. He started using ChatGPT. He calls it Leonard. He gave it a name. Said, I asked Leonard.
It's like Jarvis. Not Jarvis. What is
Jarvis,
it?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's Jarvis, yeah.
From Iron Man.
Iron
Jarvis.
Man, yeah.
All right, so Windows 11. Microsoft says it is finally listening to user complaints about Windows 11. Finally listening.
So
They just
up
let
until this
AI
point,
lead.
they weren't listening at all.
Promising a series of changes focused on performance, reliability, and reducing everyday annoyances.
Yeah.
Finally, they're doing this. You mean all this time they didn't care about all that?
But they just have to shut it down, and then there's no problem.
May
In
I
a,
venture a guess?
in a
I am
message
guessing
to
that there's
oh
a fix that the author of the article finally saw or something.
well, I don't know. It's in a message to Windows insiders, the company outlined plans. These are plans to bring back long requested features like taskbar repositioning, cut down on intrusive AI integrations, and give users more control over updates. File Explorer is also getting attention with promised improvements to speed, stability, and general responsiveness. This is what they put for the Windows insiders. They post.
Can they ask them to unhide all the aliases they have in the file system?
You can ask.
Yeah, well, I tried to remove when I first got a Windows 11. I tried to remove them and just put my stuff in my own local instead
And
of going to the cloud directory. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't
Well,
run.
hold on. Why do you have OneDrive even active? I uninstall it.
What do you mean?
I don't have OneDrive on my machine, so
No, I don't have it on there. Oh, this is back
it
before I knew I could do that. But I don't have
OneDrive comes
OneDrive
back
anymore. But
every now and then.
if you look at the file path, you might think you're going to user documents, blah blah blah. It's always got iCloud as part of the path, and you can't change it, or you couldn't change it. Maybe you
Well,
can now.
today it's a feature of OneCloud. When you install OneCloud, there's a question if you want the desktop to be synchronized. But
Back then,
still,
wasn't
if
no
it's not
choice.
installed, it doesn't do it. So
No, it's not. Now that I know it's there, I just expect if I go to if I'm in Word, I'm going to save something. I say save as local. You see it in the even though it's you have two choices in File Manager. You see the cloud choice and the even though I don't have it installed, it still shows up in the file system.
okay.
And I keep watching so that if they put it back on there, I'll take it off.
Yeah, that's the trick. All right, Apple users. New iOS exploit chain called Dark Sword shows how attackers can break into certain iPhones, grab sensitive data like messages, credentials, and even crypto wallets, and then disappear without leaving obvious traces. It targets older iOS 18 builds using Safari and Web GPU flaws to escape Apple's sandbox, which is pretty wild on its own. But what really stands out is how fast it works and how financially motivated these attacks have become. The takeaway is simple though, but very important. Update your iPhone ASAP. And don't assume mobile devices are somehow safer than desktops anymore. So this
I had
is
to do Pam has an iPhone SE and
Yeah.
does not support iOS 26. So she still has it on 18. And I got a message and it took me a while because she doesn't have enough memory to do a direct upgrade because there's not enough to hold the actual upgrade on her phone and do it. So I have to do it through iTunes. But I did it. It took a while. She was going away for the weekend, and I said, "You got to do this before you leave." Using all these, she's going to be at a hotel where she wanted to use the Wi-Fi, and I made sure the VPN was working and that it was upgraded.
dang from 18. I mean, and there's nothing higher. What's
No, they just changed the nomenclature. So 18 was just the logical progression.
Oh,
So
okay.
now
So
they're
now
going to do it
that's
26 as
okay.
2026
Okay.
iOS.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a 27 and 28. So on.
But anyway, this is something that you really need to do.
Yes. And don't be discouraged by the fact if you have an older device, if you have 18, you may be not able to go past it. Find a PC, put iTunes on it because that's really the only way you'll be able to do it.
Yeah. The European Commission is investigating a breach after a threat actor allegedly accessed at least one of its AWS cloud accounts and claimed to have stolen more than 350 gigabytes of data, including databases and employee-related information. AWS says its own services were not breached. This is coming from Bleeping Computers. If there is a updates to this article, how many things it has to do with the password they used? It's
Not sure I understand.
I mean, it's got to be a password thing. They probably put password as the password on it, and the
Oh, I
people
see,
got
I see
in,
what you mean, yeah.
and they're trying to, what investigate? Just say we screwed up. I mean,
But then the stocks go down.
yeah. Well, I don't know that European Commission has stocks. Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah. People can take responsibility, I guess. I mean, I'm assuming that that's the problem.
Did you see the announcement that Samsung is finally shipping their browser for Windows?
No.
Yeah, it said Samsung takes its browser beyond mobile, extending the agentic AI across devices. So I guess the ultimate goal is to sync it between Samsung phones and so that it's just a continuous user experience no matter what device you're on.
Well, what do they call
Samsung device?
What do they call it?
Samsung browser.
That's it.
Yeah, let me
How
look here.
original.
I'm looking at the announcement. It also helps you link to your washing machine. You can sit at your washing machine and say, "Ask AI questions from your washing machine." I don't know.
Wow,
I
that-
don't see.
When will the next load be done? It's a very relevant question.
What's the best fabric softener for this type of fabric?
Mm.
I'm looking through it. It doesn't say anything about supporting iPhones, which I wouldn't think they would do, but who knows?
Why wouldn't you think that they would do?
Uh,
Come on.
because you're trying to drive people to use Samsung products
Eh,
or make the experience better.
So again, Apple. Apple has discontinued the Mac Pro and says it has no plans for future models. The buy page on Apple's website for the Mac Pro now redirects to the Mac's homepage, where all references have been removed.
Somebody in the marketing department thought this was a great idea. So let's confuse everybody.
Well,
No. That's why the consultants have to find something to change. Otherwise, they can't justify their existence.
I don't remember any talk about this. And if you think that Apple is really big on privacy, Apple provided the FBI with the real iCloud email address hidden behind Apple's Hide My Email feature, which lets paying iCloud Plus users generate anonymous email addresses. This is according to a recently filed court record. The move isn't surprising, but still provides uncommon insight into what data is available to authorities regarding the Apple feature. The data was turned over during an investigation into a man who allegedly sent a threatening email to Alexis Wilkins, the girlfriend of FBI Director Kash Patel. Now, I'm being in the internet business, I'm more I'm okay with revealing to the authorities who is somebody if they do something um, against if they're going against the law, being malicious. I mean, this is not the reason they give you a hidden password. I mean, a hidden username or email. It's not for you to be able to go and threaten other people and they don't know who you are. So I'm not against them doing this because I mean in our term of service it says that if somebody is doing something illegal, we will cooperate with law enforcement agencies. But it's interesting because a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to get this. I don't have to worry about anything. No.
Remember when they were using draft Gmail to share messages? They thought that would be hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
That's a.
Uh,
I'm not sure what the maximum file size is with Gmail. I don't know if it's gotten better, but it's an interesting way just to send something from one of your platforms to another. I do that sometimes with pictures from my iPhone. I'll put it into a draft Gmail and then I'll open it up on my desktop and just pull the pictures over.
Yeah.
Without having to actually send them.
Yes, I mean it's there is a good reason for it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do that. I mean,
Yeah.
but it can be abused, like in this case. And talking about internet, The Supreme Court unanimously said on Wednesday that a major internet provider could not be held liable for the piracy of thousands of songs online in a closely watched copyright clash. Music labels and publishers sued Cox Communications in 2018, saying the company had failed to cut off the internet connection of subscribers who had been repeatedly flagged for illegally downloading and distributing copyright music. At issues for the justice was whether providers like Cox could be held legally responsible and required to pay steep damages. $1 billion or more in Cox's case, if they knew that customers were pirating music but did not take sufficient steps to terminate their internet access.
Does that mean I have to delete Napster from my computer? That was a trivia question
Yeah.
Thursday night about what was the first real music sharing service out there that got into legal jeopardy.
Mm-hmm. But
Well, they're not the first who got into legal jeopardy, but they're the
No, the
I
first
think
one
the
that was made
widest one.
big name. Yeah.
Remember mp3.com?
Yeah, that was pretty much the Wild West.
Yeah, mp3.com. That was a bizarre service. You would enter a music CD that you own into your drive. It will scan the drive, not necessarily read everything, but it would scan the drive, create hashes of the song, upload it to the service, and if this matches what the service already had in catalog, you'll be able to download the MP3 directly from them, and like it's in your account basically. So it was associating the music you owned with downloadable music. Sounds reasonable, right?
Yeah. So
They got sued to hell because the MPAA said, we never gave you permission to create that catalog. So whatever is in your catalog is illegal.
it's
like,
didn't
instead of
didn't-
coming and saying, okay, this is ingenious, let's make a deal, right? They said, nope.
But that was pretty much their MO always, was to
Yeah.
intimidate to the point of and they never wanted to negotiate and say, let's figure out how we can coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow, eventually, right, services like Spotify were able to create those deals with the MPAA. But
But they had to have a change of heart to do that.
when they understood that they cannot fight piracy, it won't work anyway. Yeah.
Hey, Katie, how many of these names that we are mentioning here are you familiar with?
None.
Oh. Okay. AI, and I heard this name mentioned by some of you here. OpenAI is shutting down Sora, its generative AI video creation platform. It launched in December 2024. The move is one of a number of steps OpenAI is taking to refocus on business and coding function. And I was reading something else, I didn't save it here, that Disney now is having a problem with that.
Wait, why is Disney having a problem with
Something
AI?
about they were partners with OpenAI or something. They said that they're no longer going to play with them because they did that.
Mm,
I guess Disney was using Sora. Did you ever use it?
no. I use ChatGPT.
For everything? For video creation?
Oh no, I don't use. I
Yeah.
make my own videos. I don't use AI for videos.
Yeah, this is it's generative AI video creation platform.
No, I don't. I don't.
That's
use any
what
of that.
Sora is.
Oh.
Maybe there's some licensing issue with Disney there, like Disney content being ingested into the model.
I was reading something else that OpenAI either is shutting down or going away. Apparently, they were trying to come up with an erotic platform like or whatever you call it from with ChatGPT, and they decided not to go for it again because they're trying to focus on business and coding.
I mean, there are a lot of AI porn around.
That's
Yeah,
true. That's true.
yeah.
I have seen that.
And Grok, XAI's Grok. So they like I think it was Musk. He came out in a statement saying if it's okay for R-rated cinema, then it'll be on our platform. We won't we'll mark it R-rated, but we won't ban it. So flat out pornography won't be Grok will not be able to generate. But if you have a paid subscription and you I don't know, you created some erotic art that passes the test of R-rated cinema, then yeah, it's gonna be allowed.
Well,
Did you see the FCC is planning to ban foreign routers?
Yeah.
TP-Link was specifically targeted.
Yep.
Saying you can continue to use the one you have, but they will be banning the sale of it. That is huge.
They are banning the importing of
Importing
anything
of it,
new.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
But I have a TP-Link router, but it's in a AP, what do you call it? Access point mode, because I use the AT&T router and the modem as my router. So I still have 4 or 5 older generation TP-Link routers sitting
And
on the
I would
shelf.
think that the older generations are safer too, because back
Yeah.
then we didn't fight with them.
I did look at somebody gave me brand new in the box 2 early generation Google routers, mesh routers, the earlier ones. And I looked at reflashing them with WWRT.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got the name right. It was too hard to do. I just didn't feel like I wanted to spend a whole afternoon trying to, because there were so many different tools you had to use. You had to use Linux to set up certain parts of the file system on it and all that, and get access. It wasn't as easy as some of the other ones. I wonder if that would fix the TP-Link router. If the vulnerability was either silicon based or it's software based.
I mean, even if it's silicon based, software will probably be able to silo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the apparently the year that the new feature in new cars comes out, 2026, for shutdown. Like all new cars produced after a certain date have to have the availability of doing a shutdown from a outside source.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, like that's not going to cause problems, I say sarcastically.
Well, it's like how does that happen? I'm like my Subaru, which is a 24, has phone home capability. And I remember my old 2007 Impala had it because of OnStar. They were reporting statistics back to Chevrolet. But this is supposed to be law enforcement can just say, and how they identify the vehicle, I don't know. Are there tools for finding it? Just car drives by, oh yeah, I want that one. Not sure how it's going to work. But
And how long before it's being abused?
True. Yeah. So I saw the article. I haven't really read the details of it yet.
Yeah.
And what are the requirements for implementation, and what are the fines if they don't? So I'll do a search here.
So we're talking about Microsoft fixing problems. This author. Microsoft announced it's fixing common Windows 11 complaints. But what about getting rid of that requirement to have a Microsoft account before installing Windows 11? While Microsoft didn't mention that at all, a senior editor at the blog Windows Central reports there is a number of people internally pushing at Microsoft to relax that requirement. What can any of you think is a benefit of having a Microsoft account in order to install Windows 11?
Oh, well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is the benefit of being able to use your phone without an Android phone without the Google account? What is the benefit of using your iPhone without an iOS account, an Apple account? They're just aligning themselves to the rest of the market. Right? I'm not defending them. I hate it.
So it's not
But
a,
it's what every other company does.
so you say you agreeing that this is not a technical thing. This is
course
just
not.
because we want to have you on our. I mean, I'm sure
Look,
there are
is a
things.
benefit. I'm not dishing it. There is a benefit. If you're not techie, right, having that account is a lifesaver, because
Okay.
the
And most
encryption
people-
key to your BitLocker is uploaded automatically and preserved in your account in the security details. If you lose your credentials, you can use the forget my password process to get it, right? It's not a bad thing inherently, but everybody here on and I assume most of the people listening, right? We like to have control and choice over our tech.
Right.
Now,
Well,
none of
everybody
us
would.
here are Richard Stallman that if it's hooked to the net, they won't use it, right? Like if it runs JavaScript, they won't use it, etc. We're not very extreme on this, but we like to have control. And right now, Microsoft is the only paid software OS, right, that you can buy and doesn't necessarily need to be associated with an account. And we can do this only by hacking today, right? Because they took it away from the natural out-of-the-box experience. So why? The answer is because everybody else does it. Is it good? I say if we fight the fight, then we need to fight the fight on all platforms, not just Microsoft. That's all.
Hey, update on the kill switch thing. This was actually put into legislation back in like 2022, or even earlier than that, allowing this to be put in place. But there's a new bill, HR 1137, that was introduced into Congress saying the No Kill Switch Act. So it's possible that the ability to do this will be squashed.
Yeah.
Apparently, the outrage when it looked like it could be implemented this year has gotten a lot of people calling their congressperson.
So a congressman who does not even know
Anything.
what a router looks like and what it does
Yep.
should protect the router
No,
user.
Yep.
the congressman
I
will.
still like the idea of
Tell
stopping a
them
vehicle.
it uses IP6.
I still
would.
like the idea of stopping a vehicle with an EMP pulse generator. Just be riding behind it. Poof. If they can control the range and keep it so it only works within like 100 feet. It's like, oops, we missed and we took out all this other stuff by accident. Sorry.
Well, it'll make it easy to identify criminals because they'll all drive 70s cars that an EMP wouldn't affect.
I think I mentioned this last week how there's a huge market now for 20-year-old vehicles. People are buying them and refurbishing them because of all of the crazy stuff that's happening, not just with electronics, but with build quality is so awful with engines.
All
They
of
have-
my coworkers, their cars are like 15 years old, minimum.
If I looked at startling statistics about how many cars have been recalled because of build quality, engineering build quality issues, with engines shredding themselves within 30,000 miles of being new.
Mm.
In order to meet the CAFE standards, the corporate average fuel economy standards, they've gone crazy. And then smaller and smaller engines, but they want to have more horsepower. So they're trying to squeeze as much horsepower as possible out of these little engines, and they can't do it.
And if
And
they do it, if they do manage to do it, they are putting a lot of stress on that.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's weird. It's how they're not doing the machining properly, and they're leaving debris
Yeah.
in the engines. They said sand from casting and microparticles from machining. And that's what they said. They did analysis. They did oil samples and looked at bearings and all that stuff. It's all debris in the engines, brand new engines. And then Hyundai was replacing engines because of this feature, but they were putting the same engine in the car. And it was happening again to the same people. So it's really bizarre. Some
Interesting.
cars now, especially some used cars, are sitting on lots, can't be sold because nobody wants to buy a car that's got such a major recall going on. And the fire issues now with not just with batteries. Batteries are an issue with certain manufacturers, but just a short that people have died, smoke inhalation deaths from cars catching fire.
By
It's
the
crazy.
way, on the battery fire thing, a Chinese manufacturer, I think it was last week.
Was it the announcement they made about a new chemistry?
Yeah, they demonstrated it. It was
Yeah.
a phenomenal demonstration. The demonstration was a transparent container with one of the standard batteries. I don't know if it was a Tesla one or not, but one of the standard American-made batteries, etc. And they drew a nail, pressured it through the battery, and show how it ignited, right? And on the other end, they showed their new cells and did the same thing. First of all, the thickness of that battery was much less, much thinner. They've shown the output voltage and current, through monitors, showing that it continues to work, and they drew the nail through it,
Wow.
and it continued to provide current, and there was no ignition, no spark, no nothing. And this was driven because of manufacturing issues back in, I think, 10 years back, where an an accident caused a fire that cost lives, right? That affected the company. I don't remember the name right now, which is terrible. It's a Chinese company with 3 letters. I just don't remember which one. And
TRG or something like
Doesn't
that.
matter.
Yeah.
maybe I just don't remember. But really impressive, like, show of technology, how, caring about, not just about the production, but caring about safety. Like, yeah, so that's definitely the way forward, and that's definitely what we're going to see more and more of.
That's
The
interesting.
Yeah.
the batteries that are failing now turn out to be problems with the manufacture of individual cells and how the components in the cells are failing and causing shorts. And then once that battery starts to burn with lithium, asked this question. I talked to the chief of the fire department for Apex, and he said they just got their first smother blanket. He used to borrow it from Raleigh because when a fire like that starts, you can't really put it out. There's no amount of chemicals or things you could put on it. You'd have to smother it. And if it's in somebody's garage, they come along and they yank it out of the garage. They put the cover on it. They put it on a flatbed. They drive it to a field where they let it burn out. And so I hope that this gets fixed because it's kind of scary.
I remember years ago, after the 6-Day War, we got a lot of cars from the enemy, and there was a lot of stuff that had 6 volts. I remember taking 6-volt like radios and things like that and trying to put them into a 12-volt vehicle. Of course, it's not going to work.
Well, even if you put it in parallel.
It doesn't matter. It's just more amps when you put them in parallel.
Yeah.
But you were talking about a nail. We used to take a nail, a big nail, and drive it through the battery of the 12-volt right in the middle to the middle cell, and that will give you 6 volts.
Because you would kill the battery.
Yeah.
It wouldn't kill the battery. The battery will still work okay.
You're
Well,
just
you kill
tapping
the
it
cell.
halfway
You're
through
just tapping it in the
halfway
middle.
through. They're all sitting. If they're in parallel, voltage is added through each new cell. So if you tap it halfway through, it's a lower voltage.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
I didn't realize that's how batteries worked.
It's voodoo magic. Alien technology we're not supposed to know.
Watch me.
Science is weird.
I
in
go
No,
general.
and I
no.
drive a nail through a battery, and then I'm gonna explode.
No,
Don't-
you
don't-
don't
don't-
do
Don't
it.
do
Speaking-
that. That
Speaking
was
of
I'm
aliens,
not understanding how batteries work.
These are old. These are old batteries that were
Okay.
very
They're
simple.
definitely,
Today,
Like
they
from
were
ancient-
definitely
like
were
from-
not lithium ion.
you mean old like from ancient Egypt?
well,
Yeah.
I mean, they were just
The
simple
land of the
batteries.
Hebrews.
That's
A
it.
lot of batteries these days have circuitry in them, things like that, and you don't do that. No.
I have a
Definitely not.
recommendation. It's related to science fiction and aliens. Is that if you have not seen it yet, I highly recommend seeing Project Hail Mary.
Oh, so good. I saw it with
I'm going
my
to see it
friends.
again.
It's so good.
I read the book, and the book is wonderful. Andy Weir,
The
guy who
movie
wrote
lives up to the hype.
Yes, it does, and they did a great job they had to compress it. Obviously, there was so much more in the book, but they did a great job of compressing all that down so they covered everything. And Rocky is incredible. There already you can buy T-shirts with Rocky on it, so it's the alien.
Mm.
And I just watched a podcast with Andy Weir describing the science that went into designing the alien, and how it all is plausible, the stuff that they did. So it's very good. Did you
Yep.
see it, Gal?
Yep. Just
Yeah.
saw it day before yesterday.
Yep. I need to
The
go see it.
audiobook, by the way, is phenomenal. So
Yes.
I highly recommend it. Yeah.
I pretty much read all his stuff. A few of them were okay. But the
Oh.
Alien and this, and what was one other one that the one
Martian.
about the moon.
I just saw a video that said originally the movie was close to 4 hours long, and
Yeah.
and they had to cut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see the full cut when it comes out in streaming or whatever. it's an Amazon production, so it might happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. Sitting in the cinema, and then I think the first logo that comes up is the Amazon one, and
It
everybody's
is.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
I didn't even realize it was an Amazon film. I didn't even know they made film. Well, I guess I kind of did because of the TV
no, they
series and
made
stuff.
it, yeah.
But
But the
Well,
fact
I
that this
haven't.
was like, yeah,
Well, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of the Amazon movies in theaters because
yeah.
it's always been like direct to whatever. Granted, my scope of watching movies has dwindled over the years, but yeah, I was very impressed with it. I really enjoyed that you could tell the executives let the creators do their thing because
Yep.
a lot of the movies you see nowadays, they're just trying to go for max like advertising, max toy making, all this other stuff. Amazon just left them alone. They're like, here's $1 billion, go make a movie.
Huh?
Yep.
And we were talking about benefits of accounts, like Microsoft or Apple accounts. It keeps on going. Prospective Vizio TV buyers should know there's a good chance that the set won't work properly without a Walmart account. In an
So
attempt, what?
okay, finish. I want to share something.
In an attempt to better serve advertisers, Walmart, which bought Vizio in December 2024, announced last week, that select newly purchased Vizio TVs now require a Walmart account to set up and accessing smart TV features. Since 2024, Vizio TVs have required a Vizio account, which a Vizio OS website says is necessary for accessing exclusive offers, subscriptions, management, and tailored support. Accounts are also central to Vizio's business, which is largely driven by ads and tracking tied to its OS. So, yeah, you're going to have a Walmart account.
So
So,
my experience is not with Vizio, but yeah, another Element TV that I bought as a screen
yeah,
for from Walmart. Cheap. It was the cheapest panel I can find in good enough quality.
right.
But the first thing that I encountered was please create an account, right? Like just right out of the when I switched it on, there was a small spot where it says, okay, skip, do it later. And I did not connect the television to the Wi-Fi because I only wanted to use a screen. One of the annoyance that this screen specifically has is if it keeps on, which I don't shut them off because the computer just plays a screensaver on them. If it keeps on for a very long time, it goes into its own screensaver mode. And when it wakes up into some sort of menu. Now, because this TV isn't connected online, the menu is just an annoyance that, and we need to take the remote and and exit out of it, and then we get the image back.
Oh,
But that is definitely annoying. I've kept it because first it was cheap as hell and it does what it needs to, and it doesn't happen while we work. It only happens when after very extended periods of time, like over 8 hours. Okay, but still, it's like, come on, this is a screen. Why do I need to go through a menu just to see a screen? So yeah, that exists, and I'm guessing we'll see it more even from the likes of Vizio. They all want to just be able to show you ads because it's a revenue stream they cannot do without.
yep.
Speaking of which, our show has been sponsored by
No.
By Walmart home delivery.
yeah.
A new
It's,
study
like,
found a sharp rise in real-world cases of AI chatbots and agents ignoring instructions, evading safeguards, and taking unauthorized actions such as deleting emails or delegating forbidden tasks to other agents,
It's happening. AI's rebelling.
according to The Guardian. The study
I-
identified nearly 700 real world cases of AI scheming and charted a five-fold rise in misbehavior between October and March. It's it sounds like these things are beginning to think for themselves. Or-
No.
That's the closest thing you can.
No, it's come on. It's you. You give an agent, okay? You give a toddler,
Yeah.
not a toddler, okay? You give a 12 years old. You give them access to everything,
Yeah.
including deleting, right? And they accidentally delete. This is the equivalent. It's not about thinking, it's about making wrong choices. It's not about even it's about it's not even about misdirection. It's about misunderstanding that this is just a random thing that works at random and sometimes it makes mistakes. And this is part of the design.
Yeah.
It's the same way human learns. That is the same way this learns. The learning process is pretty much the same. It's just, it can happen in a whole bunch at once. Okay. But it's not as if it is fallible. It's not infallible. It's amazing, but it's also stupid. Okay.
Do we need
So-
a AI training mandatory AI training program for everybody that to sit down in front of a computer for 30 minutes and get their certificate saying I can use AI?
Probably, at
Yeah,
least
might
that.
not- I know people. I talk about it all the time. And, oh, I didn't realize it did that. I said, yeah. It's a wonderful tool, but you need to know how to
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah.
And when it
Gotta go,
asks,
guys.
may I be able to remove this? Never whitelist that permission. Right? It's like, come on.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your week. I have to take
All right,
off.
Spence.
All right. So long.
Bye.
See
Bye.
ya. How many of you think that a jury found Meta and YouTube negligent in a landmark social media addiction case,
Huh.
ruling that addictive design features such as infinite scroll and algorithmic recommendations harmed the young user and contributed to her mental health distress. The
How
verdict.
young?
What?
How young?
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. The verdict awards $3 million in compensatory damages so far and could pave the way for more lawsuits seeking financial penalties and product changes across the social media industry. Meta is responsible for 70% of the cost and YouTube for the remainder. They don't say how old she is.
Yeah, I wonder if the result from this will be okay. If you can't prove that you are, I don't know, 21 and above, you don't get infinite scroll. It's not as if the services will stop, right? It'll just, yeah.
Yeah, but that
You want to see
means
porn? Only with infinite scroll. Right? It's like,
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, where are the parents? Like,
that's what, like, I get the lawsuit. I definitely get the lawsuit.
Mhm.
They definitely are targeting and trying to get you addicted.
Of course.
So the lawsuit definitely has room. But I also agree with Katie. It also means you have been leaving your children without any supervision with, and I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen within the family, and it annoys the hell out of me. And yes, the parents definitely have a part there. But yeah, but
Yeah.
interestingly enough, right? A Meta or a YouTube, they can't use that defense because that'll be proof that this is something that is dangerous, right? If they say it's the parents' fault that their children have been addicted, this is okay. Why should the parent be worried by something like Meta or YouTube,
Oh.
right? So they can't even do that in court. So yeah, it's problematic. It's really problematic.
Yeah.
We talked about it before on the show. When does it become where the companies are babysitting the kids and then the parents are like,
Yeah.
we've
But
seen this a few times with Facebook and stuff.
but the companies want that. That's the thing.
Oh,
They want that kid under 13 years old, even though the end user license says you must be 13 years or older, right? They want those there because that means that their advertising, their brainwashing is working, and they are grooming, right, the young
The
mind
next.
to
Yep.
not notice it later.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, one of the reasons we are so annoyed by it is because we didn't grow with it and we see the effect. But those who grow with it, the only thing they see is if you take it out, if you take it from them, is somebody took my candy away, right? It's a tantrum. It's rage because something that they have been relying on is suddenly gone. Their pacifier is gone. So yeah,
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
definitely part parent, but it's also very, very, very has to do with the design.
I mean, it's. I mean, I I remember when Hannah was born, when she was, I don't know how old. We used to put her in her seat or in that bouncy thing in front of the TV and have uh channel 4, what is it, Sesame Street or any kids movie. And I remember Rafi singing stuff, and she would just leave it, and that was the babysitter. But to do it, and we didn't think about it. I don't think I ever thought about it back then as I don't want her to get addicted. It was like putting her for an hour or 2 hours in front of the TV to watch something that was for kids. It wasn't a 24/7 thing, but it was. Today I'm thinking, well, they're sticking more stuff in there as far as ads that would hurt. Back then it was like Channel 4 didn't have ads, and
By the way, it's not the ads that are the problem. The ads are just their way of their reasoning of why they're doing it. The problem is that what gets you addicted, right? What gets you to stick is all of these algorithms that are tailored directly to you, and their goal is to keep you there engaged as much as possible. And that does not mean that the content is always going to be the reason you thought you were opening the app. Okay? It'll be thrilling, it'll be exciting, it'll be scary, it'll be gross, but anything that will keep your eyes glued
glued.
to the screen.
Yeah.
And that will include the stuff that you didn't intend it in the first place to be even exposed to. And that's the problem, right? It's they control what you see 100%. More than TV, because in TV compared to that is a slow medium. It's the it can't change every 5 seconds, right? And
Mhm.
so yeah, you get
that and it's not interactive. Like the TV, you're passively watching it, the online stuff, the kid has to actively engage with it, whether by like scrolling or clicking on a link or doing stuff like that.
And that is being measured in order to tailor the experience, right? So that's the key. Look, it's an evolutional progression, right? The writing was on the wall, etc. But when it comes to raising responsible human beings, right, there is definitely an issue here that is much more problematic than just good parenting, right? It's now a situation where, as parents, there's going to be less and less and less and less oversight of what these children
I'll
are
be right
being
back.
they're consuming, basically, right? So this is the fast food discussion all over again. Just now it's food for brain instead of nutrition.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll give you an update on the cursor stuff. I tried to ask it while we were on the show to open up Figma and to do a design. And Figma is a UI software thing, and they have a browser form, and you can prototype out websites before you execute the design. I asked it, it was like, I asked it, I need to redesign this feature. What would you do? And I was like, oh, you can do this in Figma, blah, blah, and gave me a list of all this stuff. And I said, okay, well, you do it in Figma. And it was like, I can't do it in Figma. I was like, awesome. But so what I did instead is I said, okay, well, build out a test site using basic like HTML and CSS or whatever with basic simple shapes or whatever, and then I can just launch it in my browser. And it did. So then I was able to test some features, some design features before I implement it into the code
Cool.
and whether I like it or not.
You're gonna run your own software house in a bit.
I know. It's kind of wild. And yeah, this is super powerful, and I think anybody can make an app at this point. Heck, I'm doing it, but I wonder how many people actually would do it because it takes a lot of time and dedication and tinkering. Like it makes it easy. Like AI makes it easy to do the thing, but it's not a press a button and everything works. Like you have to troubleshoot with it. You have to be patient. And I'm sure maybe one day it'll get to that point, but I kind of hope it doesn't because then it's like I'll have a leg up. I want to make it
So
too easy.
I think you're gonna have a leg up anyway. One of the continuing conversation, right, is this is taking our jobs. One thing that will definitely be a change is if you do not know how to work with AI,
Yeah,
you will not get the job.
exactly.
Okay, that is definitely the tool. Just like if you do not know how to operate Word, you will not get the job. And it has
Yep.
nothing to do with what the job is. So this is the reality. It is a tool that has entered the workforce. It is not going to leave the workforce. It will not replace people, but it will definitely be a mandatory skill. Okay? That
Yep.
is 100% the case. Now, I don't know that if you're operating a gas pump, if you're going to need AI, right? But maybe you'll need AI if you are managing a workforce, right? Anything that, if any of your jobs today is in front a screen and a keyboard, there's a good chance that you'll need to understand how to use AI. And those who will use AI better will be more successful. That is definitely how things look like.
Yep.
Will they need less coders? The answer is no. They probably need more. Will they? Even what you're doing today, Katie, you might not know how to actually write code, but the experience you're going through right now is making you a better software developer.
Yeah. Well,
right?
and then at this point, I almost think you don't. It's getting to the point where you don't need to know code. Um,
I agree.
and
It's not necessary.
yeah, and uh, everything has been so standardized, and I'm talking about like over the past like 20 30 years where there used to be a billion different coding languages, and now, and for me as a layman person that is just like touching the surface, there seems to be like four of them right now that are like the ones everybody uses: HTML, C sharp, and C++, and Python. Like those are the top four, at least that I've been, and then Java. But like, and so if everybody that's what they keep teaching. Like in game design, they're teaching Sharp or plus plus, and then in home app design, like hobbyist, it's Python. And that's been, for me personally, that has been dabbling in it. All the extra stuff has just kind of filtered away, and they've made it easier and easier. Even with Python, when I first was dabbling in Python like 15 years ago, 10 years ago maybe, and um so some of the stuff they didn't have, what is it called when they make, is it packages? Where
Yeah,
like somebody like streamlines the code. They had packages, but some of the stuff I wanted to do, they didn't have packages for it yet. So
right.
I was like, I don't want to sit down here and learn how to do this. Like I'll learn how to use the packages and how to build something, but for my thing, it required a lot of extra stuff, and I was like, I'll address this later. And then like a few years later, somebody made a package for what I was trying to do. So it's just like this process of evolution that's coming along, and AI is just, it's awesome.
Yeah.
To
And now, if
summarize
you
it,
don't have that package and it doesn't exist properly, you
they'll
ask
make it.
AI, okay, yeah, build it for me.
It's
Right.
just, it's so wild uh to be in the middle of seeing evolution. Or like just seeing things change so fast. Like when AI came out like in 2022, for me personally, as a consumer product and not just like a tech thing, but just like a layman could use it, I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. And then just seeing it in the past 4 years, how much it's evolved, absolutely insane.
Agreed.
Yep.
And the interesting thing, I think that, probably the interesting thing about this is those who are slowest to adapt to it are those with the most experience.
Yep.
I think I was one of those who at the beginning says, this is nothing, or this is
Yep.
not going the way that everybody's thinking, and I changed my tune. It is definitely going, once I started using it, and starting to see the progression and the quality of output that comes out of it every iteration, and those iteration are anywhere between 3 to 6 months. They're
It's
they're
insane.
accelerating. Yeah, it is
Insane
insane.
how fast it is. And
Mhm.
I don't know the math behind the back end and all that stuff. It goes over my head. But I feel like the better AI gets, the better it can train itself. It's like self-repairing. I'm assuming. It needed a lot of overhead and a lot of groundwork from people implementing it and getting it running. And maybe that was like the 15-year buildup of some coder in his basement, just like typing away and getting it to work. And
40 years,
for
40
40
years of
years.
build up. No, yeah,
And
but it's definitely that. It's
and
exactly that.
now it's gotten to the point where I feel like it's making mistakes and it's learning. It's like getting better itself, like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for benefit of those that maybe feel intimidated by AI and don't know what, I mean, it's very simple to use. To
I'm telling you,
start,
people, if I can
just
do it, anybody can do it.
no, but you need to give them the steps. You just go to openai.com
Actually, no, send them to grok.com.
or I mean,
GROK. I'll explain in a second why.
okay.
But send them to grok.com.
When you go to openai.com, the first screen that comes up says, "How can I help you?" And
Yep,
you
and you
can just type
type.
and it will answer you. It's not rocket science.
One of the first
How
questions, people go there and they don't know what to ask. Start asking it, how do I use AI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like ask. You'll be amazed by the quality of the response, the way you interact with it, and the thing that it can do.
Also, I want to say too that everybody's already using AI. Every single person that has access to the internet is using AI
But
because
not
no,
directly.
they are, because on Google, when you ask a question in Google, Gemini
Right.
responds. It's the first thing that pops up. And we were making fun of it a year ago because we would ask it, or I would ask it a question for Google, and I noticed that the AI would respond first, and whatever it responded with was completely wrong. And I was like, just give me the links. What are you doing? And I would get frustrated. Now, when you go to Google and you ask it a question or you post a thingy, the response is the AI stuff, and it's mostly accurate.
It's getting there. Yeah.
So I ask it video game. Well, I go to Google and I don't necessarily ask a question. I look up stuff. And especially for like video games. Like I'm playing a video game and I don't know where to find this resource that's in the game. I'll type in blah 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 resource in the game name, and then it pops up, and then the AI response is like, "Oh, this is what this resource is. Here's where to find it, and here's the video that explains it where I pulled this information from."
Yeah. So what about Grok?
Grok works exactly the same. I find that it's faster. It references current websites, and it does it extremely fast. So it has the same, and it also seems that it's a bit less filtered, less tamed in terms of being straightforward. It doesn't try to hide too many details. So I found it to be my go-to for quick searches, for quick interactions. If I need a longer interaction, I use Cursor. I use I sometimes use Grok through the API because then I'm not limited by free tokens and all that. But
Did you ever try to compare?
of course, yeah.
Is it really? I mean, does the saying two heads are better than one?
Yes.
Does it
In
work?
AI, yes. Not only that, let's take Cursor. If you use Cursor as your day-to-day agent that you are conversing with, you can actually tell it, this is a question that I'm sending you. Do it 2, 3, 4 times different agents, right?
Okay.
And it'll do it in parallel, and then you can ask it, okay, and bring me the consensus. So it goes through another agent that reads only what the agents came and brings only what all of the agents agree about. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
See, that's the important part.
Yeah, it's a completely different way
Yeah.
of accessing knowledge. Completely.
Yep. But you have to remember that this is knowledge that's already on the internet.
It
It is
relies on
out
the
there.
internet. It definitely relies on the
Yeah.
internet.
Yep.
It relies on human knowledge.
Right.
It cannot create new knowledge.
Correct.
It can create some new combinations that might seem like new ideas, but it cannot do it sustainably. Okay.
And it can hallucinate too.
it's- Of course. So the human being is the most important part today of AI. Okay, AI is a tool for humans right now. Whether
Yep.
this is going to change, I don't think it's going to substantially change unless we see some major breakthrough. That breakthrough hasn't happened yet, but it definitely is something that we as human beings can use to accelerate, to do more without siloed knowledge, right, and stuff like that, to express ourselves better. It's impressive as hell.
Yeah. Okay. We need to end the show. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope. I'm going over a friend's house today, though. She's a data analyst, and I need help with my data now. So I'm gonna go talk to her about architecture and how to set up this and blah blah blah. So I'm
Nice.
excited, and she reads a lot of books too. So she has thoughts on how organizing the data and all that stuff, which I thought
Good.
was probably really important before I actually add a buttload of data to the website.
One of the most important thing with your process, Katie,
Yeah.
don't be afraid, okay? Don't be afraid to get everything that you've already done. Try to compose, you can ask it to do it. Try to compose a new prompt that just describe the process, the project in detail, right? And then
Yeah.
try to regenerate a new project that does exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it'll give you a different result, right? It'll give you a different result. It'll look a bit a bit different. It'll act a bit different, but it might be a better start base to move forward. This is one of the things that I've learned with working with AI. Do not get attached to whatever it created, because it can recreate it again. And sometimes when you give it when you start from scratch and give it a very, very good prompt to start with, the end result will probably be a lot more than to what you were looking for than where you got to through the iterations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll keep everybody posted.
All right.
Keep at it. It's cool.
Well,
Cool as hell.
Thanks, Katie. And thanks, Gal. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner, and change any same passwords wherever you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT 107.9 FM, and it's on YouTube also. So just go to YouTube, search the Carolina Journal News Hour, and you get all the details, and download some of the older ones if you need. Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., Nick also hosts the Nick Craig Show at nickcraig.com. So just go to nickcraig.com and get all the details. Have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.